Well, Chris,
I think. Well, listen, Mark. Listen, hold on. When I say, would you have caffeine today?
what the hell is that up to you?
How much coffee did you drink before the show?
Listen, you can't polish a sneaker, right? throw tomatoes at me, do whatever you're gonna do.
It's Corso and Catone.
Welcome into Corso and Catone, the real deal, New England feel. I'm feeling real New England like tonight. Free agency, everything in the NFL, all the franchise tags. I don't even know. I don't know how to contain myself right now. I really don't. I really don't know. I don't know how I'm going to do it tonight. I don't know how it's going to happen. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, but
how about you?
I'm joined as
Mark.
I don't know. What do we need, Joe? I guess.
All right.
Number.
Joe, that would help, Joe.
I guess we can introduce
how about
Mark.
the other half of Corso and Catone?
All right, fine. We're joined as always by Mark Catone, and your calls 855-313-PATS, 855-313-7287, and you can already hear him yelling at me already. Joe Goneri's out there, and he's got us up on chat, up on YouTube. So chat in, call in, let us know what you think. Again, I always say this, and I'll keep saying it again. Chat in, call in, let us know how wrong Mark is about everything.
Hey, I've been right, Chris. I've been right on lately.
You were right with Godwin. So let's get into it. I mean, the Patriots. Hey, and by the way, Mark, we got something fun we're gonna do tonight. We got something fun for the people. All right. Chat in on your favorite uniform. What do we think the best professional sports uniform is? NFL, NBA, MLB, okay?
Well, I
NHL.
think you and I will agree on a couple at least. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, well, and you know what? Don't chat in and give me any crap about soccer uniforms in Brazil and any of that crap. I don't want to hear about that stuff, okay? The four major sports, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little later in the show. But Mark, free agency's in a week, Mark, a week and a day, right? By East Coast time, it's 7:00. So we'll just consider it Wednesday.
It's a week.
And it's a week. So, but frantically, it seems like there's a lot of tags happening today. And you know what? I was curious, Mark, if they were actually going to extend it because.
Yeah. When does that end, Chris?
Today. It ended today.
They were talking
about an hour ago.
They were talking about extending it, but I guess they must not have.
Yeah. And the chats are already flying in. The chats are already coming in. Kansas forwarding. Lots of people chatting in, interested. Mark, I think people are upset that I wasn't introducing you right away. So now here comes.
Of course they were.
These are all your fans right here.
I got about two. This is probably two.
Well, that's two more than I have. So let's go. So listen, and we'll talk about the free agency. But before we get to that, Trent Brown, Mark, talk about that. It looks like he's going to be back in a Patriots uniform. I don't know if the deal is done, but it looks to me like the terms of the deal are going to be Trent Brown from Oakland, wherever they live now, for 2 7ths. It looks like a 22.
I think all they're trying to do now, Chris, is work out getting the salary cap number less. So they're doing some different things in regards to incentives and other things to get that cap number a little lower. And I like the deal because you were mentioning earlier to me, Chris, hey, you could kick Wynn back over the guard if you want to replace Tooney, because Tooney, I think, is gone. You put Brown back at left tackle, and there you go. And I want to be honest with you, Chris, you probably got one of the best offensive lines in football if they all stay healthy. You got to bring back Andrews. Let's just put that down too. You got to bring back Andrews.
Not signing Tooney. Okay, not re-signing Tooney that should be a clear signal that they're going to bring back Andrews. And listen, Mark, looks like Kansas is in the house, big time over here. Kansas. We see it all in the chat. Yeah, Mark, to me that gives an indication that they're not going to sign Tooney, use some of that money, which means you would think that they would want to sign Andrews at that point. Yeah. But Mark, I think you're right. Listen, I'm not sure. And I think they're probably not pleased or not full on board with how Wynn is playing at left tackle right now. And let's not forget when Wynn was at, Georgia, right? When Wynn was at Georgia, right? He
He's a
played guard. Yeah, he played guard, and they were going to, for some reason, they took him 22nd in the draft, and they were going to put him
Make
at
him a
tackle. And maybe they're just not pleased with it. And
don't
listen, you're not
forget,
going to take
Chris-
Trent Brown and stick him at guard. I mean, you're going to put him at tackle.
Well,
That's where.
Oh,
he
you're going to
belongs.
put him at either left or right tackle. I'm guessing, maybe, unless you decide you're going to release Cannon, too.
I don't see him doing that. I really don't see them doing that. I honestly think that they may have the idea. I mean, you know how Belichick is. He likes versatility in the offensive line. He wants
And the
guys to be able
rookie,
to play in
Chris,
all different
that rookie,
spots.
The rookie from Michigan can play guard or tackle.
Yeah.
He had a great year as a rookie. Whatever Eminu, whatever his name was, right?
I can never say that name.
Me either, but he can play.
He
guard
needs to get better, and then we'll be able to pronounce his name.
No,
get
he
to
had
be a
good,
household name.
Chris, he had a good rookie year.
He did have a good year. I thought the offensive line played pretty good. I mean, under the circumstance. I mean, if you could find a bright spot on the team this past season, that was probably it. So Mark, I mean, they make that move today. So I think that's what happened, and who kicks into guard, and that could be your offensive line. You could have Trent Brown, Wynn, Andrews
if he comes
you'd
back,
have Mason, and you'd have Cannon. And you get those rookies that are now second-year players that can kick in any of those spots because Cannon's going to go.
Chris,
down.
I have a funny feeling they're going to release Cannon. If they go full in on free agency and they're going to bring in some people, I think Cannon is one of those guys, Chris, that could go.
Here we go, and Mark, it's people are just aching for this jersey talk already. Look, CA Backs types in. Personally, I love the Saints home jersey. The black and gold really makes the uniform pop. Hey, you can't. Listen, I can't go away from that, and they haven't changed the coloring in a lot of years, although it was real drab back then, but with Archie Manning over there, but look, I look at CA Backs. We agree with some of that, but we'll get to that. Stay tuned. And then when we come back in, we'll talk about that. But Mark.
So anyway, getting back to the Patriots, I think it's going to be interesting, and I still think you might see Gilmore get moved.
No, I think if there's any guy on the Patriots that that you're going to get value for at all, it was at the end of the season Gilmore, and I think it remains Gilmore.
Well, I think they said some teams are a little hesitant because of the injury, right? The groin injury, but supposedly they said he'll be ready for mini camps.
Yeah, or the 6 games a year he takes off.
Well, that's a whole nother issue.
While he's playing,
Great. Yeah, well, Chris,
he didn't have a pro. Listen. He didn't have a Pro Bowl season last year.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
I mean, the announcers and people like that could keep talking about, he has the reputation now. So that's how
Chris, what do you do with J.C. Jackson? So he's a restricted free agent. So for our callers out there, how does that work? So my guess is with the way the salary cap is this year, and because of COVID and because a lot of teams have less cap space, no one's going to give him a restricted offer, I don't think. So which means, what do you have to offer him to keep him? Is he technically under contract, not under contract? How does that work?
Yeah, and Mark, I didn't hear. Listen, just so you know, everybody out there, you know how irritated I am right now, Mark. My server went down. Okay, I got a server here for business purposes and things like that, and it crashed. It went down. Whatever you tech people call that. Okay, it went out like yesterday. So now, I don't know. I don't even know what I have anymore. I can't. I'm wondering what the hell we did before all the computers and all that other stuff. Mark, you're old enough to remember that. But I'm over here. Sometimes I can hear. Sometimes I can't. I don't know what the hell's going on, Mark. Ask your question.
So my question, Chris, is with J.C. Jackson. So with salary caps around the league the way they are, and with the uncertainty of what the official cap number is for the league and all this, I don't think he's getting a restricted offer from anybody. So what does that mean for the Patriots? What do they have to do to keep him? What he's a restricted free agent. So what do you do with him? Is he under contract next year? Is he not under contract?
No, what happens
is free agent, right?
Yeah, he's a free agent. It's just restrict. See, what happens is, and I think this is what the Patriots will do. He can go out there and field offers. He's going to go out there and field offers, and New England has the right to match it. So, so he'll go out, and that's how they'll gauge.
Doesn't a team got to give up like a first or second round pick?
Right. So, no, what happened, and this happened with New England when they made a play for the wide receiver out of Pittsburgh a few years back.
Right? Emmanuel, was it? No, not Sanders. What was his name? I forget who he was. I forget. You're right. That did happen.
Yeah. So That's what happens. And then when, if they don't accept that offer, that tender, then, or they do accept, then picks have to come back, if they try to match it and doesn't have, that kind of thing.
I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
No, I mean, he'll get offers, and then that's how New England will gauge his market. They'll gauge his market by what other people are offering, and it may come back at a lower number, and then they get a pick. If he was unrestricted right now, moving on from, if you feel like they're going to move on from Gilmore,
you have to keep.
And I would imagine, I think they would have franchised him.
Yes, you're right.
Because there's not another guy. There's not another guy in this team that I think you would use to franchise. Listen, Mark, when is the last time the Patriots are in a situation when there's just not even, there's no point. There's nobody on the team you care about franchising other than maybe Andrews or somebody like that. But it costs you a lot of money. But
Chris,
I think they'll work him back in. Yeah.
So Chris, so I know you wanted to dig into this. So what's up now? So take Robinson off the board and Godwin off the board.
What do you want to go wide receivers right now?
Well, I figure we go first wide receivers, and then we'll get into a couple of the other positions because wide receivers is besides quarterback, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But we'll get to that a little later. But wide receiver is glaring.
Yeah, it is, and I don't have my glasses either. Those crashed with the
what,
Chris?
That
was, Joe, you know what? The glasses broke when I threw them across the room.
Joe,
the IT guy couldn't fix the glasses.
Yeah, those glasses, Joe. Let me tell you, send me another. Those glasses were destroyed when the first server got destroyed. For some reason, it just coincided with the server breaking down, and then all of a sudden, my glasses exploded. I don't know how that happened.
Those new Google glasses?
Yeah, they're Google, all right. Googly. So, Mark, but I'll tell you what, the chats are flying tonight. Everybody's dying to talk about this, the uniforms. Listen, we'll get to it, everybody. We're going to get to it.
We're going to make that a nice segment. But listen,
you people out there don't understand what happens when I go out of order. You think Joe gets on us now? He completely freaks out when we go out of order. We start talking or go over and things like that. It's like a mess at that point, At that point, I think I need to go work for Special Sauce Podcast at that point. But anyway,
they don't want you.
They don't want me. So, yeah, okay. Listen, Allen Robinson
off the board.
He's going to be off the board. Godwin got franchised. Mark, listen, I'll give Mark his props. You called it. You said Robinson and Godwin are both going to get franchised. And, Godwin, what does he care? He gets to play another year with Brady. And
now Brady's going to play till he's like 47. They're going to extend him. They're extending him.
He's going to have about 65 rings when everything's said and done.
Really? That's right.
That's good. That's good. And we're still going to be looking up at six banners saying 6 banners in 20 years. That sucks. That really sucks. It could have been 8. It could have been 10. Look how spoiled you people are out there. Can you imagine? Can you imagine,
listen,
seriously,
Chris,
being a Cleveland fan? I mean,
Chris, Brady's gonna put Bruce Arians in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is. Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So listen, Mark, we're heading for getting over on this segment right now, and the people are salivating for
Let's go. Okay. So wide receiver, what else we got out there? I love Kenny Galladay.
Galladay's ranked high. He's ranked over Robinson.
And the fact that those two guys are off the board, Chris, you're going to have to probably overpay a little for Galladay.
The thing with him is he's a great deep threat. Okay. But the issue with him is, he's not when he's healthy. See, now in 2020, he played in only 5 games. He had a hip injury. This is a situation with Trent Brown too. We're hoping to get the Trent Brown of 2 years ago back.
So maybe Galladay, maybe teams won't overpay for him, Chris, because of the injury history. You take a chance with him.
Well, that's Belichick's MO. Bring him in limping.
Bring him in and see what he can do
and hope they perform.
If he stays healthy, Chris, he's a top 5 wide receiver in this league. I honestly believe that.
Yeah. I mean, but
what else is
in 2019, Mark, he ranked up in the top in the league in major deep passing categories, 20 plus yards in the air, 32 first, reception 13 tied for second, 546 second, touchdowns 5 tied for first. So, I mean, he's 6'4", 214 pounds. Yeah, Mark, he's the kind of guy we need. He's the kind of guy we need.
And I think we probably need a slot guy.
Well, look, I mean, you got a guy. So you got a guy like Marvin Jones. Okay, now I'm not sure of how much of a slot guy he can be. You know, he's not the fastest guy on the field, but he's a solid route runner. So he can be an inside guy. He's really quick in and out of his breaks. He gets in and out of breaks really quick. Edelman's like that.
Do you bring Bird back?
He's 31. No, I mean, Marvin Jones is better than Bird.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, in my opinion. I mean, he could just do more. You know, he could do more. Yeah, he was Detroit's number 201 receiver.
Chris, then there's
can't say that with a straight face.
No, then there's a couple of other guys like just below that, like the guy which I'm not a fan of his, but you got the kid Davis from Tennessee.
Corey Davis.
Right.
You know, he's he was a first round pick in 2017. He hasn't lived up to that.
No.
First round pick. I don't know what
he
number.
I think he was a top
10.
I think he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, Tennessee sucked, so it had to be a top 10. He's had injuries too. He hasn't lived up to that potential, you know, that from a certainly for a first round pick. He's coming off his best season. He finished just shy of that 1,000-yard mark. But he had 5 100-yard games, and he had an 11 catch performance in week 12. I think it was week 12, but I'm pretty sure it was 180.
Chris, they have
like 180 yards, something like that.
They're gonna bring somebody in, Chris. What are they gonna do?
Yeah. So I like him too. You got you have like the prospects. You know, we won't get into that, drafts and all that, Devonta Smith and all that.
No. I think we'll talk more about those guys as we get closer to the draft.
But yeah, I mean, there's a few guys, Mark, that I think, you know, then you got Juju Smith-Schuster, who, by the way, a lot of rankings have him down in free agency, down in 9th on the board.
Well, plus the fact, Chris, he's a head case. So a lot of teams aren't going to take a chance on him.
Yeah. So, I mean, no, you're right. But once again, as a guy that maybe can come at a better deal. You know?
Yeah.
So, but we keep talking about, I don't want to get too much. Well, yeah, we can get into it now because we'll talk about the quarterbacks. Do you need the quarterback? I mean, what do you put, the chicken and the egg? It's the chicken and the egg argument, Mark. I mean, we got to get the quarterback to get the free agents, or do we build do a Bucky Brooks
Chris,
thing?
all I've been hearing,
build a team and bring the quarterback in
later. All I've been hearing all week, Chris, in the local shows over here, you know, all these experts over here, so-called experts, are saying that of course the Patriots aren't going to overpay for anything, and they're gonna do like they always do, and they're gonna try to go on the cheap, which means they're saying, you know, you may end up with a guy like Fitzpatrick, which. Listen, I still think, Chris.
And that would be a year-to-year thing.
Yep. But I still think, Chris, when it's all said and done, I think San Fran's going to get a quarterback. It's either going to be Donald, they're going to trade for him, or it's going to be in the draft. They claim they love this kid, Lance. If he goes to 12, they're taking him. Yeah. But the only problem is you may not have Garoppolo before free agency. So what do you tell free agent wide receivers to get him here? I don't know. Do you just overpay, which we typically are never going to do? So how do you get them here? But I still believe, Chris, Garoppolo is going to end up here. And if it ain't Garoppolo, it's going to be maybe Cam. You've been saying it for a while. Newton.
Well, I tell you what, though. I think
Garoppolo is going to end up here, Chris.
One of the things that New England can do, and what teams do at times, is they float out the discussion. Right. You know, they were in discussion with, you know, Schefter's good for this. Patriots have used Schefter before for this. Yeah. You know,
they'll float that out there.
They're in discussions. They're in discussions with San Fran.
Yeah, they'll have to float that before free
and
agents.
So you get that going. And you know, Mark, with Cam Newton, yeah, I mean, I'm against it, but he's a real popular guy.
No, I know
he's a real popular guy in his own locker room, in the league. I mean, you know.
Listen, if you were to say Cam Newton was coming back here, as bad as he looked, and he was historically bad, if you really looked at his numbers,
couldn't throw the ball.
But Cam Newton, Chris, could recruit players to come here.
Well, look, let's talk about the quarterbacks because we're going to end up going over. So let's talk about the guy. Let's talk about the free agent guys because those are the guys in the trade. I mean, you know, Garoppolo, Mariota, Donald, Wilson, Watson, who, you know. So here are the free agents. Dak's off the board now. You obviously got Cam Newton.
What the heck did they do? I mean, we don't have time to talk about that. But what did they do?
He paid more for this guy than he paid for the franchise. $10 million more. But anyway,
Chris, he had a compound fracture.
Yeah, you know, I don't think he's worth that either. Okay,
no, but
Cam Newton. I'm going to just try to go through the ones that I think. Ahead. Cam Newton. Okay, we talked about him. Jacoby Brissett. He's familiar with the offense.
He is.
Okay, but he's not a sexy pickup that's going to bring a ton of guys in.
No.
Jamison Winston.
Sexy.
Yeah, exactly, Joe. You know what? You know, Joe likes him, but you know, Jamison Winston. Okay.
I
That's
like
who
Chris.
Jameis
I like
Winston.
Winston. I like Winston, but do you think New Orleans lets him leave?
If they're going to turn the reins over to
But
the
are they
kid,
really going to turn the
Hill,
reins over the Hill?
I don't
Or is
know.
that,
I like him.
I know you like him. See, I'm not a fan of Hills, but you like him. I don't know, Chris.
do.
You like him.
So
All right.
there's Winston. I'm dinging
The
the
only
bell for
thing
Winston.
about Winston, Chris, he can make every throw.
Oh, we're
on the
going to go
field.
over just so you know.
He can make every throw on the field at least.
Okay. There's Winston. There's Fitzpatrick. We've talked about him. Fitzpatrick will be a 1-year thing. Okay.
Yep.
Mitchell Trubisky. I want nothing to do with, there's a couple of guys on the Boston show. Mitch Trubisky. I want nothing to do with that guy.
And I don't want
Again, Tyrod Taylor,
no,
AJ McCarron, Andy Dalton, whose days are going to be numbered over there in
yeah, he's done.
Dallas. Then you got Colt McCoy, Robert Griffin, Barkley, Sudfeld.
Then you got the guys on the bottom of the scrap heap.
Joe Flacco. Bethard. So again, these aren't guys
Flacco.
that
You're better off saying Chris Corso, Joe Flacco.
Right. So again, to me, it's either going to be a trade for Mariota or and I think it's less likely for Mariota.
Mariota, Chris, they said, is because of the incentives in his contract. Nobody's trading for him. He could make over $20 million. They said he's trying to negotiate his release out of there.
Yeah. Well, he's going to have to do something with the contract.
If he negotiates his release out of there, Christian, you can bring him in for a decent number.
Right. That's the thing.
Take a shot with him, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's the key, is the number with him.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Garoppolo is going to end up. It's either going to be Garoppolo or Newton. They're not going to do anything with Winston. Trubisky's not going to happen. Fitzpatrick, I could see Belichick doing something. Stop.
The camera moved, Chris.
Stop. You know what? Seriously. Okay. The next person that chats in, honestly, that's the person. It's going to be that person in Catone from now on. That's it. I'm going to block it. Mark, you're going to know. It's who's up now?
Joe, he's complaining about his server, Joe. He's got a
how about backs? Backs type. From now on, it's going to be backs in Catone. Backs in Catone. Yeah, the real deal New England field.
So he's got a tin cup out there on the roof, Joe.
He keeps getting roused up. He might stop the server
wrapped
just
around
be
the
Catone.
Cup. The snakes out in Arizona.
So listen, before we get to break,
Chris, what about the tight end position before we go to break?
Looks like it's CA backs in Catone.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, as far as tight ends go, Mark, look.
Hunter
Mark,
Henry, you got to go sign Hunter Henry.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
Yeah, they said, Chris, how about the other guy, Ernst? They said you can get Ernst for a third-day draft pick.
You get Ernst, and then who's the other kid?
I would take Ernst for a year. Chris, he's only got, I think, one year left on his contract or two. Yeah. I think he's $8 million. I would take a shot with him.
Joe, where's my list though? Where the hell is my tight end list?
It's on the server.
Oh, you had to start with that. Okay, that's how you got to be now.
Guy. He's got it.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, listen. But before we get to break though, you interested at all in Dunlap, released from Seattle? But they think they're going to re-sign him again.
I think they did that. Yeah, I think they did that for cap. Listen, there's going to be guys like Dunlap you're going to have to bring in, Chris. There's a guy that, what's his name? Geno Atkins, right? Played for Cincinnati. The Patriots are going to bring in a couple of typical Belichick veterans on that defensive line, Chris, that you can get cheap because the defensive line is so depleted.
It's what they do. It's what they always do.
That's what they
But
always do.
I still think you need to re-sign Guy or Butler. I think Guy.
I think you bring back Guy. Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, they haven't set the cap yet, or did I miss that today?
No, but allegedly, the last I heard was it was going to increase by $5 million. It's going to, but we'll see.
So if you're New England, okay, and right now they're sitting in the 3 spot at $67 million roughly over the cap.
Yeah.
If you're New England, do you want that cap to go up or down? The total cap number.
Well, conceivably, for the Patriots, you want it to go down. I was going to say that because it hurts the rest of the league because you got so much space.
It takes teams and puts them in the negative.
Yeah.
That weren't in the negative before because they're so much higher over the cap.
Yeah.
And then also the last thing I before we go to break that I want to talk about is this talk about Micah Parsons dropping to 15, Mark. Do you see any way that happened?
Well, listen, Chris, I've been listening to it too. And from what I've been listening to and kind of looking at the board myself, there's going to be a run on quarterbacks.
Yeah.
There's going to be a run on wide receivers. There's always going to be an offensive tackle thrown in there somewhere in the top 12, 13 picks, right? The tight end from Florida is going before we pick, right? So if Parsons drops, and I also heard last night the kid from Michigan who can set the edge, that this Cootie Pay, also, I mentioned him going down to New England. And the kid, Cootie Pay, Chris, is actually a Rhode Island native. He went to Hendricken High School in Rhode Island, and he's going to be a top 15 pick for Michigan. The kid.
Well, again,
but they said the kid can set the edge, Chris. If Parsons is there, you have to take him. You don't have a choice.
That's a shoe at the TV. That's a shoe at the TV if they don't take him.
That's almost as bad as it when DK Metcalf. I thought my son was going to bust the television.
I was there.
You were there that night, right?
And look, so you take him over Fields?
Well, no, that's if there's a run on quarterbacks. If Fields is there, I don't know, Chris. Well, if you get Garoppolo, yeah. If you end up with Garoppolo, or you think you're getting Garoppolo, then you're not going to take Fields. You take the Parsons.
I'll take him over Fields.
Parsons is a game changer, Chris.
I will say that right.
And we don't have everywhere. A game changer on defense.
He can play everywhere on that defense.
Yeah.
I'll take him over Fields. And by the way, Mark, Brad
Chris,
types
in. This just in. We picked up Elder and Roberts.
Let's go to break. Brad, and by the way, Brad shouted in. That's your new partner, Brad and Catone. The real deal, New England feel. When we come back, we're going to talk Celtics, and then we'll get to the ever popular topic of the uniforms. When we get back, more Corso and Catone after this.
Welcome back to the Special Sauce Podcast. I have a very special guest here, Brittany Droz. Brittany, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about all things culture, psychology, and business excellence.
My audience is going to love that. So tune in, folks, specialsaucepodcast.com.
Back in with more Corso and Catone. Sorry, Joe, I came in a little early there. Sorry about that. Hey, listen, Joe, I like the Let Special Sauce podcast know. Did you see the helmet in the promo there? See the Patriots helmet?
See the helmet.
They're starting to get on board. They're starting to get on board with the real deal New England feel. And what was her name? Brittany. So log on, tune into that program. It sounds like the psychology of finance. It sounds like it's going to be a great thing. Mark, listen. So the Celtics end the first, I guess you would say the first half of the season on a good note. They end up on a 4-game winning streak. And so the first question becomes, what does it mean for the team? What is that? Because I'll talk about what Steven said in a second about what he thinks it means. But what do you think it means that they ended on a 4-game winning streak?
They're still the same team they were, Chris, before the 4-game winning streak. If they're going to be a serious contender, they have to make some sort of a move, and bring somebody in. If not, I mean, listen. Now Brooklyn brought in Blake Griffin. I know he's beat up and old, but he's still somebody a veteran who will get rebounds for them under the basket and probably get a couple of timely rebounds. You're not beating Brooklyn, Chris, and I don't know if you're even beating Philly, but you're not beating Brooklyn with the team the way it's constructed. So, but again, we've talked about this, Chris. Do you just let it roll for the year and use that exemption at the end of the year or during the offseason and try to do this next year, knowing, hey, let's just chalk it up. It's one of those years you're not beating Brooklyn in the East, and we'll play for next year. I don't know. Is that what you do?
Yeah. Look, I mean,
it's going to take a lot for them to get by Brooklyn, Chris. If Brooklyn gets healthy and Durant comes back, right?
I don't think anybody's getting by Brooklyn unless something implodes over there.
So do you waste capital to try to do it this year, which you probably won't? Do you say, okay, listen, we got the $28 million trade exemption. We'll use that at the end of the season. We'll make a couple of other things happen. And then maybe next year you become that contender that can knock out Brooklyn and maybe go to the finals and win the thing.
Well, look, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters what they think of themselves, and the question is, what is Ainge? What is Stevens? What do they think of themselves? And, I hear Stevens say something like this, where he says it was a long. This is after that fourth win before the break. It was a long and difficult road to get here with the injuries and so on. It took a lot for us to get to this point, and I'm glad we finally got here. And I'm listening to this, and a lot of a lot of the experts hear this soundbite, or they hear this quote or statement, and the first thing they come out with is, well, this is good. They're going to the break. There's, what does Steven thinks of his team? Are they listening? I hear something different when I hear that kind of statement. I'm wondering where exactly are they right now? Where do you think they've arrived? Where the hell do you think this team has arrived? We've finally gotten here. Where?
Chris,
fourth in the East, where we thought we'd be halfway through the season. Where the hell are they, Mark?
When I look at their record and I look at the way they've played, I think of that old Bill Parcells line when they asked him about the team, and he said, "We are who we are. We are what we are," and that's what they are. They're the fourth team in the East. I think you're going to see them go up and down. They'll win 2, they'll lose 2, they'll win 5, they'll lose 3. I just think that's going to be. They're going to end up probably 4th or 5th in the East. Yeah. I just think the way the roster is currently constructed, and that's why, unless you're going to make some moves, this is what they are.
We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't pass, but we made up for it by not tackling. So, I mean, and that was a Tampa coach.
listen, I think Smart will help when he comes back from the injury, obviously. Right. But Smart's not putting you over the top. You're not beating Brooklyn with just Marcus Smart.
Yeah. And Paula, Brad, happy to hear from you. We're always happy to hear from our regular listeners and all the new people chatting in. Matt 9, looks like I can't even read that because my glasses exploded. Something looks like something BB. So welcome in, everybody. Welcome in.
Little BB's back.
Little, that what that says? Lil. Joe, get me Lil. BB. What the hell is Lil? What's Lil?
Like little, but Lil.
Is that how you say that? Lil?
Yeah, man. Get up with the times, bro.
All right. My server's down. I don't know anything anymore. I can't figure anything out. So yeah, Mark. So we want to know, do they make a move? So, if you're going to make a move, and see, I think they should. Because this continuation of, okay, yeah, we're not going to catch Brooklyn. I get that. So what are you waiting for though? So you say, well, maybe something shakes out next year. Maybe some free agents are better next year. Maybe we're a better team. What the hell's the difference? Or not free agents, but trade deals, or what are you're holding on to these picks? Okay. What would it take? Or what do you think of two? I'll give you 2 guys that I like. Grant, the forward from Detroit. Okay. And I like Vucevic, the other one, the center from Orlando. Now, yeah, what's it going to take to get those guys? Because to me, I've heard things out there like crazy things, like it'll take Smart, Williams, and the first round pick. That's insane. Like, I mean, you have to give up Smart and Williams and the pick? No. Smart, I can see the pick maybe with them.
That's why, Chris, I don't think you.
But not Williams. Who do you give up Williams for?
Chris, you're not giving up to get who? Vucevic?
Grant or Vucevic? Look, listen, we'll break it down. Grant's the forward from Detroit. He can get out and guard. He can get out and guard on 3-pointer, 3-point. He plays good defense. He can play all. He can get out on all the spots.
The kid Grant from Detroit is good. I think it'll cost you way too much again. And the guy if I'm going to give up a lot of capital, Chris, it ain't for a guy like Grant or Vucevic. If I'm giving up a lot of capital, I want Bradley Beal.
But what's a lot of capital though? I'm talking about giving up Marcus Smart and a pick. I mean, is that a lot of capital?
I'm talking about giving up Marcus Smart, a couple of other. If I got to give him a couple other guys, a couple of first-round picks, for Bradley Beal, I make that move.
I'll tell you this right now. To get Bradley Beal, I mean, the things I'm talking about, listen, if you get a guy like, you keep laughing at me, but if you get a guy like Vucevic, okay,
yeah,
it's not a big 3. Okay, it's not a big 3, but if you put him in there with Tatum, Brown, Kemba, that's a pretty formidable.
That's a formidable team. You might get to the East Finals against Brooklyn. You probably would.
Well, if we keep saying they're not going to beat Brooklyn, it would be nice to get to that point and then try to use the trade exemption and do something else.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
because I don't think
No,
you're going to
yeah.
need to do, so I think one of those two guys, I like Grant. I do like Grant because I think
No,
he
I
can,
like
I
Grant.
think he
I
can
like
play.
Grant a lot, Chris.
I think he can defend all the positions, the
I
2, the
like
3, the
Grant.
4, the 5. I mean, so.
I like Grant a lot. I just don't know if they can pry him out of there, but I like Grant a lot.
Well, I mean, look, and this, they had the All-Star game, right? And this coincides with what we're talking about with free agent. Look, you know what these guys do. I mean, they go to this game and they just talk. Now we know that Beal and Tatum are tight, right?
Yeah. And that's why
Joe,
I'm
can I
saying
use that?
maybe
Is that a hip term? Is that an up-to-date term that they're tight?
That one still works. Yes.
they're
Okay,
not tight.
that
They're
works.
boys. What
Yeah,
tight? Tight.
you
You're
know.
showing your
They're
age.
tight. They're
boys.
good. Lil BB likes that. Lil BB likes that. They're good. They're close. They get along. They're buddies. And so they get over there and they talk and because look, people worry about, well, if this things don't improve, is Tatum going to eventually leave and go play with like Beal? Well, he's not going to go to Washington. Washington sucks. Tatum's not going to go there. I think Tatum's pretty fixed here. Okay. To get a guy like
Chris,
Beal, though,
but
to me,
the All-Star game, Chris, has become like nothing but like a recruiting. It's almost like it's college recruiting over there.
it is.
Everybody's over with their friends, and hey, listen, come with us next year. It's like a big recruitment out there.
Yeah,
That's what the All-Star games become.
The final was like 170 to 150.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was a joke.
It is a joke. It's just a show. I mean, and that's fine. It's a show. It's go for charity. They do good things in the community. And
I will say this, Chris. Though the one thing I will say is
Giannis was 16 for 16.
Yeah, he was. But the kid they were saying was the best pure shooter they've ever seen is that kid Curry.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah.
I mean, if you watch the 3-point contest, he's like a video game.
Yeah, I mean, and what's his name? Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller's reluctant to give it up. He's reluctant to give him that. He's reluctant to say, he's good, and he's good at doing this part of the shooting and that part of the shooting, but he's better than you now. That's
better
it,
than you now. Yeah,
so, but no, look, should Tatum be one thing? Should Tatum be recruiting these guys like Beal?
Yeah.
And number one, and number two, okay, because to me, if you get a guy like, and by the way, what I think it would cost them is Brown. It's going to cost them Brown. You can't get a guy like Beal. And listen,
I don't think they'll make the deal.
I'm all for it. I do that in a. I know he's 30. What is he? 30, 31. But I do that in a heartbeat.
Listen, if you trade Brown,
is he 30? No, maybe less than 30. I don't know.
If you trade Brown for Beal,
or was he 24? Joe, find out what. Hold on. Find out how old Bradley Beal was.
Beal's not 24. He's about 27, 28.
27, 28.
I
See
think
if you can find
but
that.
Let him
Joe.
look that up. Listen, Chris, if you trade Brown for Beal and then you use your trade exemption and you bring in somebody else, right? Now, you got and you still got Marcus Smart and you got Williams and you got these guys.
Yeah, because I think Williams is going to be a player.
I think he is too. Well, now maybe you mix it up a little bit and maybe you got a chance, But
because look, you bring Beal in and you still have Kemba too.
Yep.
I mean, when Kemba gets back, when he gets back to form, and if the last 4 games, I mean, he had a hiccup mixed in there, but when he gets back to form, I mean, you see him when he's playing well, when he's right, and he's pretty damn good. And it's not the big 3 you got in Brooklyn, but Mark? There's not too many teams that have what Brooklyn has right now.
No,
that's Garnett. That's better than Garnett, Pearson.
And how long is Brooklyn going to keep that together? A couple of years?
Not long. No, it's this
couple
year.
Years.
I mean, it's
maybe this year and maybe next year. To see if they can
Kyrie is going to go on some retreat somewhere, and he's going to. I mean, there's going to be some nonsense with him as
Looks
time,
like
especially
Beal's
if they don't.
27 years old, just
27
there.
Yep, 27.
I was right. 27, 28. I was right.
Thank you, Joe. So,
thanks, Joe.
So yeah, I mean, he's too. I think that's a better combination. Tatum and Beal.
Well, I think it probably is. Yeah, I do too. And like I said, because you got the trade exemption, you got the $28 million you can go spend too, Chris, to bring somebody in.
Not only that, but now you have something to go to the big guys with and say, okay, let's make this 3. Let's make this a triplets. Let's do it.
You're right, Chris.
Versus, I just don't think Brown. And again, the ceiling. I get the ceiling with Brown. Who knows? And Tatum, I get that, but. You get in Beal, you're going to get that third guy. You will get that third guy, and it gets Ainge back on track. So the question is, because this is the way the game is going right now, should you let Tatum basically, this new age player would say, what do you want? Who do you want? Go get him.
Let Tatum go recruit. Yeah. Because
who
that's
do you
what this
want?
that's
Go
what
get
this
him.
league seems to have become, Chris.
Right. Well, it is. That's
You know?
all it is. I mean, the guys,
so.
they look at Kyrie did it. LeBron did it. I mean,
Steph
that's
Curry's
how Anthony
doing it.
Davis got there.
Curry's doing it.
Yeah, he's done it. He
has
does it,
done
and
it,
he
and
has done it,
and he's still
with
doing
Durant.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Yep.
I don't know. I think you do that, you know, and we're gonna get the break now. But I think you do it. I think you allow him to do it. It's why buck it? Why buck that system? It is what it is. You want to win, then you got to give these guys you got to give these guys ownership. I'm all for guys having ownership, you know, on the team. It's just a new age, a new wave of what Bird was like. Guy like Bird, Magic. Those guys were like that too, you know. I mean, because you have to understand when those guys played, they had coaches they played with. Like Casey Jones played, you know, Heinsohn played. God rest his soul.
They did.
And Casey. You know, so they were more on you know, Red listened to these guys too. You don't think what do you think for one second that he didn't listen to what Bird had to say about things going on, who they should be looking at? I mean, there was just less movement back then, you know, but this is just a modern version of that, you know, with technology. So yeah, I mean, I think you let Tatum go out there and recruit some guys, and I think you get back because the Lakers they're going to go downswing. Utah's good right now, but are they good enough to really get over the hump? Brooklyn's only going to be a couple of years and then they're down. The youth that you have on the Celtics, because I think Williams is going to be a player, and you got Tatum, you got Brown, you got Williams, or you get rid of Brown and you bring somebody else in like Beal, and you're still very young, Mark, right?
Well, you are. You're very young. Yeah.
On the other side,
don't get me wrong. LeBron's going to be like Brady, I think.
Yeah, he'll play. I mean, Mark, you know, he's been playing a long time, but he's not that old.
No, he's not. That's what I'm saying.
He came in the league, you know. I mean, he came in the league early, high school.
He was 18, so.
Yeah, so it seems like he's been playing for 170 years. But I don't know. At some point, I think he'll have different interests and win enough of them to go away. Brady's just, you know, he's off the charts. You know, you can't compare anybody to Brady. All right, everybody. When we come back, it's what everybody's been waiting for. It's what Mark's been waiting for. Joe, all of our listeners, all the guys chatting in, the people chatting in. We're going to talk about the best uniforms in all of sports. We'll go down, and I could tell you, we may not even get to the Bruins because this segment's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. On the other side, more Corso and Catone after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with more Corso and Catone. Joe, was that better? Was that
perfect?
Much better. Okay,
much
thanks.
better.
Thanks.
You're getting there.
You know, you have no idea what Mark and I have. You think the show ends and then we just pack up our stuff and go. You know, no. Joe has us in like a classroom for a long time, you know, basically beating down on us, telling us all the things we do wrong every week. Mark, the list is longer for Mark, yes. But, you know, nevertheless, it's still
every damn week.
Right. Every week. Mark, listen.
You notice, Joe, I don't even listen to him, Joe, anymore. Yeah.
I told you, it's going to be Brad and Catone.
And neither one of you listen to me.
Next week.
Love it.
Next week, tune in to Brad and Catone, the real deal. No. Okay, Mark, I'll never leave you, Mark. That's it. It's been 30 years, pal. We're never gonna. That's it. You know. So, okay, let's get into it. So, what we wanted to do, and we want your help with this. And I see a ton of chats coming in. Somebody's already talked about. So we'll start with the NFL because somebody's already talked about backs. Already talked about the New Orleans Saints and how he likes that uniform.
It's a shop uniform.
So, with that being said, so they put out lists all the time, and I'm not gonna lie, I printed those. I'm still a person who prints things out when I have a server that's working. So some of the and what they did is they ranked them 32nd to 1. All right. So I mean, we could talk about this all day, but we're going to try to.
Why don't we go up towards the top and see what we right?
Because by the way, they got the Jets at 32. And then
Who the heck wants to talk about?
Some of the lists have Jacksonville, some of the lower ones have Jacksonville, Atlanta, Carolina, Arizona,
Puke Green,
Tennessee, and so on. But more at the top. Well, look, where they have the top. We'll go to the top.
Go to the top 5.
Okay.
Or do you? I mean, for now,
we'll go top 10. Let's go to top 10.
Top 10. I'll go top 10.
So the way
NFL?
This is NFL now. This is NFL. Okay.
Go ahead.
So the experts out there have found that from 10 on is Kansas City Chiefs 10, Kansas City Chiefs 10, Philadelphia Eagles 9, Ravens 8, Rams, Los Angeles Rams 7, too low. Las Vegas Raiders 6, Packers 5, Pittsburgh Steelers 4, Seattle Seahawks 3, Los Angeles Chargers 2, and Dallas Cowboys 1. Who's not in the top 10, right? Who's not in the top 10, Mark?
The Patriots.
Of course. Well, I think I hate their uniforms. I think they're just
horrendous. Chris, if we were talking about the old red ones,
yeah,
that was the best look. That was one of the best looking uniforms in football.
So, look, again,
I'm going to tell you whose uniform I like, Chris, in the NFL.
Yeah.
I like the Chicago Bears.
Chicago. That's because you're a traditionalist. All right, look.
Oh, you're not a traditionalist.
I like the Patriots red ones, but I'm not a traditionalist.
Well, I'm a traditionalist.
Well, look. I mean, I still like the. Look. There it is.
Okay, so you're talking about traditionalists. What is so nice about the Dallas Cowboys jersey? That's a traditional.
Mark, listen. Well, okay, let's get to Dallas at last because I still look. I do. I like their jerseys, but
you like the helmet or the jersey?
No, I like the pants too because the pants have that kind of like they always had that sheen to them, and I think that the white. I do agree that they wear the white jerseys everywhere because they look better than those blue ones. But no, I like it with the star and the contrast between the pants and the shirt, and I think it works. It definitely works. It has everything. It looks modern. It looks traditional.
The silver and black.
Yeah, they're number 6, and I think they're too low. But okay, so Kansas City. Okay.
All right.
Boring. Boring.
No.
Boring. Does anybody out there like Kansas City?
I don't like Kansas City.
Brad chats in. Pat Silver. Yeah, I like the silver. I like the silver pants too. But we have to, Brad. We have to deal with what we have now. What we have today. We don't have enough show to do more. But Kansas City boring. Philadelphia Eagles.
Where did they get the Eagles from?
They have the Eagles over Detroit, which I completely disagree with. I love Detroit's uniforms.
I like the Detroit blue uniforms too. I do.
I really like Detroit's uniforms.
Them. I do like them.
And I have a cousin that he's like the Detroit Lions, and he's from New England. He, probably the only Detroit fan I know. But I love
Chris,
those uniforms.
I'm going to tell you whose uniform I like. It's not a traditionalist uniform. I like the red with the gold pants, San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah,
Those are sharp. Those are top 10 uniforms. That's a top 10 uniform.
Those. Hey, listen, they didn't even crack. They didn't even crack the top 15.
The red and the gold.
They got them on 23.
Chris, the red and the gold is a top 10 uniform.
Yeah, it is. That maroon and gold, yeah.
The maroon and gold, no.
But since we're dealing with this list, Baltimore Ravens. I mean, it's nasty looking. If you like that, it's hardcore,
I'm not a fan of this.
The Rams, I love the Rams.
Rams are sharp.
They have the Rams
uniforms.
They have the Rams at 7.
They're sharp.
Okay. And Back says it too. Classic. Backs, I thought you said that you liked the New Orleans uniform. Now you like the 49ers uniform.
Yeah, I like the 49ers, Chris.
The 49ers and the Saints used to be in the same division. So, that's he probably used to.
Yep.
But again, I think we're showing our age. So I like the Rams. Not the Rams with the white with that
No,
white
no, no,
ram
the
on it. No, no,
tradition-
no. I'm
Oh, here
talking
we
about
go. You're a traditionalist. You call
no,
me
no,
a
no, no. I'm
traditionalist.
talking about the ones they wore in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Okay,
Yeah, the
against
old,
New
those are
England.
those are the old ones.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great
Yeah.
uniforms. The home ones. Those are fan. My
From when
son,
they had Jack Youngblood and those guys.
my son
Now I'm
has,
showing my
my
age.
son has all kinds of New England apparel. The only other NFL hat he has is the Los Angeles Rams in that color because it's fantastic. So I think that's way, way too low,
Yep.
low or high, however you look at it, too high on the list. I think it should be up
I
near
agree.
the top 3. I bumped Seattle out for that one.
Seattle,
I
I'm not a fan of their uniforms, Chris.
You know,
I
so
know that that's the new fad now. Everybody likes Seattle's uniforms, but I'm not a fan. I'm a travel. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not a fan of that.
and then we have another person chatting in here. It's that zero. Is that what it says there, Joe? That zero. Patriots current one.
zero.
That's zero, right? Patriots current uniforms are worse than the Browns. I agree. Houston, no, they're saying they're worse than the Browns logo.
Chris, I don't know what possessed them to
Looks
go
like
to
we
those
got a
those
caller,
blue.
Chris.
I don't know what possessed them to go to those blue uniforms.
Yeah, no, I don't know. They're that.
They're
What do you
awful.
call that? What do you call that monochrome? They're all the same color. What is
Yeah,
that? Color rush?
The color rush. They're
Or
awful.
something like that,
They're
right?
awful.
So, Joe, who do we have? We got somebody in on the line
I
tonight.
believe we have someone on the line. I
do we
believe
got?
it's one of our fan favorites.
All right, well, let's bring him in.
Flower, you did blow.
Hi, you're on Corso and Catone. Who do we have out there tonight?
Who your name is?
What's your
No,
name?
who are you?
I'm Olivia.
Oh, here she is, Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Olivia, welcome into the show. So, okay, Olivia, we want to ask you a question. Since you're coming on in this segment, we want to ask you a question. Whose uniform? Well, we have to give her a choice, Mark. Okay.
Give her a choice.
So give her a choice. So whose uniform do you like better? The New England Patriots or the Dallas Cowboys? Pats. See,
Pats.
that's it. And that's it. And Olivia, do you like the Patriots old uniforms or the new ones?
The new one.
You like the new ones? Huh?
I like the guy.
You like the guy? See, she
There you
likes
go.
that. She likes
That's
that.
the guy. Yeah.
See, so that's it. It doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks. Olivia's
Olivia
picking the old logo Patriot, and that's who we're going to go with. Olivia,
Yep.
thank you so much for the call.
Thanks,
As
Olivia.
always. What?
Go Coyotes.
Go
Go Coyotes. There we
Okay.
go.
He's an Arizona native. Olivia, thank you for the call.
Thanks,
So-
Olivia.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.
She's our number one fan, Chris.
Fantastic.
So again, yeah, see, so the old Patriot logo, people like it. But Mark, listen, at the top of that list, and we got to get to some of these other sports, but at the top, you got, okay, Raiders. I think Seattle's number 3. They should be kicked out. Forget
I don't
it.
like-
Do we all agree on that? Does everybody out there agree that,
Just the black and silver is still sharp.
yeah. So to me, here's how I would rate these. Okay. I'll go 5. I would rate Dallas Cowboys 1. I do. I would rate the Rams number 2 for me. Okay. No, I'm sorry. The Chargers 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Those Charger uniforms are fantastic.
They're
Mark.
fantastic.
They really are. That is
Yeah.
that powder blue with the
They're
bull.
sharp.
All their
That might be
uniforms.
the number one uniform in the NFL.
Maybe.
But go ahead.
But yeah, so I would say, okay, Dallas. Then you want to go Dallas 1A and with the
No, come on. Now you're gonna be like me, 1A, 1B. Come
All
on.
right.
You like the Cowboys.
Dallas, the Chargers. Okay, I would say the Rams for me.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would say probably the Raiders,
Yeah.
Pittsburgh,
Hmm.
and I would put Detroit over Green Bay.
All right.
What say you? Top 5. 6.
What say me? I'd say the Chargers.
Yep.
I'd say the Rams. I'll say the Raiders. I'll say the 49ers.
Mhm.
And I'm going to say the home jerseys of the New Orleans Saints.
So you're in Bax's
Bax
corner.
is-
on
I'm
that.
in Bax's corner. I'll say they're 5th. That's a sharp look. That jersey's a sharp
Yeah.
look.
Well, I don't even think we need to ask Joe. I know exactly who Joe is looking. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. Who are you looking for? Let me see if I can guess. Let me see if I can.
Don't
guess.
even guess because you need the lead in for the guess.
No,
The lead in is this. I don't
Right.
care whatever sport there is. There's only one uniform. Any
Still-
person
still
on
giving
earth,
us
I
the
don't
ball.
even care what side you're on, any sport, there's only one uniform anyone would want to wear. In any other scenario, this uniform does not apply to anything because it's the worst in any other scenario. In this one scenario, you want to wear the Yankee
he-
pinstripes.
Ah,
That's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I mean,
If
we-
it's
Listen, I'm
anyone
gonna
in
agree
all
with him.
these
We
sports,
didn't
Chris,
get to
I'm
the,
gonna
listen.
care.
We didn't get to that. We didn't get to that yet. We were going to talk. and listen,
Iconic. That's
and you-
iconic.
and listen, I'm going to let.
pulling out of me.
Listen, I'm going to let the people out there decide. Chat in and let me know. But we're going to run this segment. We're going to talk Bruins in the last segment. Let's scrap that, Joe. Let's continue with this. I want to continue to talk about the uniforms in all the sports because we got a list of the top 25 combined.
Let's go.
And I think Joe's going to be happy. But no, Joe, NFL. Go ahead. Give me a lead in for the NFL. And I know exactly who it is that you would choose.
The lead in for the top five, I'd have to give you
No,
the
not
bottom
top five. Just
but,
give me one. We don't have time for that, you ham. Come on.
Yeah. I would have to go with the Niners.
Yeah.
I
I thought
think
you
I like
were going to
Joe,
let me
see,
guess.
Joe? See, Joe?
No, we're not letting anybody guess these
No,
days.
it is the Niners. He would always choose the Niners over anything. So
Yeah.
so that's it. So Mark, again, your top five are again? You don't remember, do you?
I don't remember my name. No. I like the Chargers, the Rams, the Raiders, the 49ers, and the Saints.
Yeah, I don't think you go wrong with that. But again, you know,
Granted, with the 49ers, the red and gold, and with the Saints, obviously the home uniforms.
I'll tell you what, the worst uniforms in history, in the worst
The-
NFL
with the
uniforms.
creamsicle Tampa Bay.
Yeah, those are
Tampa
horrible. Yeah, but
Bay.
you know what? No, you know what? Not as bad. Not as
What?
bad as two.
What?
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Those
Which one?
awful, horrendous striped.
Oh, those
friggin-
yeah. Those are the throwbacks. Yeah.
Oh, and
Those are-
then
those are hideous.
and I know
Those are-
Steve's
What
gonna. I
about
know
the Green
Steve
Bay
is-
Packers?
Actually,
Come on,
Brad
that-
They're the
mentioned that,
same. That's the
Bumblebee
same uniform. What do you
Yeah.
mean? The Green Bay Packers, same uniform as it is today.
No, they gotta. No, they don't. They're gonna
No.
throw back. No.
Right.
They're gonna throw back. Chris.
Oh
There was
yeah, it
something like
is.
that.
It
It's
is. It
hideous.
is that kind of. It is that kind of
It's hideous.
stripey sort of. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is hideous.
yeah.
But what's worse than that? Chicago. Chicago has a similar thing.
They
And
do.
Brad chats in. Paula says, "Still love the red, white, and blue." Yeah, we do too, Paula. We really
do too. We do
And
too.
Brad types in. Now this is, Brad. Every week though, every week you show us, what era you are from. I miss the big pads. I think these guys. I don't know what he says. I like stadium football players. The pads make the uniform. He likes the big pads. Remember those?
All
Those
right.
big Giant pads
All
you
right.
walk around
All
in,
right.
and
All
All right,
right.
Brad. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Chris, I thought you were gonna pick the New York Giants.
Nah, nothing. I'm not. Yeah, I don't want to deal with the Giants for any reason, any
No.
way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's the NFL. That's what we think of the NFL. So we'll get rid of those. Okay, now we want to talk. What do you want now, Mark? You want NHL? You want MLB?
We'll do MLB last
NBA?
because
What?
we know what the number one uniform is in MLB.
Yeah, it is.
It's not
It
even
really
a
is.
question.
Yeah, but the
Us
New England,
anyways.
the real deal New England feel. The people in New England are gonna get pissed off at this. I know they are.
All
Okay,
right, let's do what do we want to do next? We want to do hockey.
sure. Let's do hockey. I got them all. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. So everybody out there, shift gears to the NHL now, because we want to know what you think on that. Oh no, this is the top 25 mixed. Let's get rid of that. Okay. All right. I'm throwing all my stuff around. So the NHL uniforms. Okay. So we're not going to deal with the bottom. Okay. So we'll go right up to the top. And I'm going to sound like a homer, but I mean, it's clear as a bell who number one is. But okay, let's go top 10 now. And this is according to I don't know where the hell I got this, but some expert out there, somebody who's got nothing to do all day.
All right, let's see what do you got.
They got the Dallas Stars at 10.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see that. They have Toronto Maple Leafs at 9. This is a traditionalist.
That's a classic uniform.
They have San Jose Sharks at 8.
Mm.
Detroit Red Wings, they got at 7.
Mm.
Pittsburgh Penguins. And with hockey, Mark, more than anything.
They got
And
all
we didn't
those different. They got all those other uniforms going on.
Yeah, we
now,
didn't
too.
really talk about this with the NFL, but with hockey more than anything, you got to look at road versus home.
Yeah, you do.
And for those of you who don't know, the home jerseys for hockey used to be the white ones,
Those
and
were
the
sharp.
road ones were the dark ones, and they've since
They've
changed. Which I don't
changed
like.
those. Yeah.
So number 7 was Detroit. Pittsburgh Penguins was 6. The New York Rangers 5. You know, that's a good looking uniform. It is.
It
It's got
is.
red, white, and blue. It's a good looking uniform. Montreal Canadiens. It is. It's still
That's
a classic
iconic.
uniform.
It's
It
iconic.
is. It
Yeah,
is.
it is.
Edmonton Oilers. Now, Edmonton Oilers, it depends on when.
I was going to say,
Okay.
because their uniforms have changed. I don't like the new ones. I love the Wayne Gretzky ones. Those
Yeah.
were sharp.
Yeah. So,
Grant
The-
Fuhrer.
Grant Fuhrer, that's right. And they say the truth is that Edmonton Oilers should have never disposed of this jersey template, especially when the club had the great one. So they agree with that too. Then you have at 2 Chicago Blackhawks. What were you going to be wearing tonight?
I couldn't find my. Listen, you mentioned the Rams, your son. The only other thing he owns other than the Patriot gear is the Rams. The only
Yeah.
thing my son's ever owned other than Yankees, Red Sox, Celtics, Bruins, Patriots is a Chicago Blackhawk Patrick Kane jersey. When he was a kid, when my son was younger, he was like 11, 12 years old. The red
Well,
jersey. that
you're not
red
making
jersey.
any. I'll tell you what. You're not making any friends. You're
I
not
don't
making any
care.
friends in the
I don't
league.
have any friends anyway. Are you kidding me?
Well, any friends you had, you're not making any more
Oh,
because
so who's number one, Chris?
who else? Who's number 1? Mark, you know what? I don't care. I can sound like a homer all I want, and it
here
doesn't
we
make a
go.
difference.
Here we go.
And they rated it number 1 too.
All right. So,
The number
but I'm
one
not too
uniform in
far
all
off.
of hockey is Boston
Yeah,
Bruins.
I'm not too far
Period.
off. I said the Blackhawks there too.
Mark, I'll even go another step further than Joe. Don't you dare shut my microphone off. I'll even go one step further.
Yeah.
I think the Boston Bruins have the best uniform in all sports. All sports.
Joe, cut his mic off, please.
Looks like
Joe,
the show's
cut
just
him
going to be
off.
Catone from now on.
Cut him off. What is wrong with you?
Brad and Catone. Mark, this is one where I will say 1A, 1 and 1A, because the Yankees are. Yeah, Mark's gone. That's it. We're doing the show without Mark for the rest of the show. That's it. You know what though? Maybe my headache will go away now, Joe. Joe, you know what? It's now
There it is.
now Corso
Look at
and
that
Joe.
uniform. Look at that uniform. In any other scenario, it doesn't work. It's a pinstripe uniform. It looks garbage. But when you want to win a championship and you want to go out there in style, you wear that and that only uniform.
Yeah.
All of
Okay.
sports.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's
All right.
the greatest
Then
uniform in all of sports.
All
you know
of
what?
sports.
you know what,
Are
Joe?
you crazy?
Go to full screen with Mark for 1 minute. Mark, give them your top 5 hockey for a minute. Joe, go full screen with him for a second, please. And
my top 5 hockey.
yeah, your top
All right,
5 hockey.
Bruins, Blackhawks, Canadians, Red Wings, and 5. If you give me the Wayne Gretzky Edmonton Oilers jerseys, I'd probably go with the Wayne Gretzky Oilers jerseys as 5. Would be my take on hockey. And I'll give you the Bruins are probably number 1, definitely. But when I say the Blackhawk jerseys, I'm talking about the red ones with the black pants. It's a shop jersey, But
When you say that the
He's
logo
crazy,
in and of
Joe.
itself, yeah, I
the
know.
logo was unbelievable. Like I said, my son had this. I couldn't find his Patrick Kane jersey. He's not home tonight. He would have showed me where it was. I was going to take out the Patrick Kane jersey and the Yankee jersey, of course. That was a Sabathia jersey, I think, that I pulled out of his
Is that
closet.
Sabathia?
That was Sabathia. I think I pulled out of
It's
his
about
closet.
15 sizes too small, though.
Oh,
to Sabathia.
absolutely. That jersey was absolutely. It was too short, too small. But that's the greatest jersey in all the sports, the New York Yankee pinstripes. Joe, you're right.
I don't care what sport you play for. If
Nope.
they say you want to wear one uniform, that's the only uniform.
That's the only
Never wanna
uniform.
wear.
That's it. That's
Step
that's
into.
it. I mean, the Bruins got a shop jersey, but nothing's like the Yankees.
No.
You guys think, oh my God, Brad's chatting in again. Brad with the big pads. What about the Whalers? He's talking about the Hartford Whalers.
Whalers. Brad, I love him. I love Brad. I love Brad. You know whose uniforms used to be nice too? The old Quebec Nordiques.
Oh God.
Right, the Quebec Nordiques.
Hey, I'll tell you what, who has a cool looking logo is the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, they do have a cool logo. You know, remember those ugly Vancouver Canuck jerseys?
Oh,
When
they're
we
like
were kids?
brown. Like,
Remember when we
you
were
know.
kids? There was brown, yellows. Oh, they were disgusting.
But no, listen, I didn't hear Mark's top five. Listen, and I can't even. So you guys are coming down on me like a lot right
No,
now.
my top 5 in hockey. I said, Chris, you'd be proud of me. There we go.
No.
There we
But
go. Oh,
Wow.
I
Okay.
love it.
listen, I won't even take this out of the plastic. This has
Wow.
never been worn.
I love
know?
it.
That was a gift. I
love
had
it.
to run and get that just so I can show you all. So yeah, look, okay, I'm with you on the Yankees. I'm with you. But for
If somebody handed you,
look at these. See,
if somebody handed you the Bruins, and Mark, Brad types in Gordie Howe. If somebody handed you Gordie Howe's jersey, or that jersey you just showed, which one do you choose?
what do you say? Gordie Howe didn't play for Boston?
Okay, so if they give you a Bobby Orr jersey, or
Bobby
a Lou
Orr, that's
Gehrig
what I meant.
jersey,
That's
what
what
are
I
you
meant.
doing?
I was just
If
reading.
I take the Bobby Orr
Brad's,
jersey over the Lou Gehrig jersey?
No.
Okay.
There's your
There's
answer.
your answer, Christopher.
You just answered it.
Look at the horrendous Pittsburgh Penguins
Oh.
uniform over here. But listen, Mark, this game behind me has got the Penguins and it's got the Rangers going. The Rangers do have a nice looking
No,
jersey.
the Rangers have
They
a good
really
looking
do.
uniform. They do. So, Chris,
They-
my top 5 hockey, you missed it, was the Bruins, the Blackhawks, the Canadians, the Red Wings, and I said if I could bring back the Edmonton Oilers Wayne Gretzky jerseys, those would be my top 5.
For me, it's the Bruins clear. Forget the Blackhawks. The Bruins.
Oh, you don't
I
know
would
what you're
say-
talking about. That classic red jersey is iconic too. It's
That
gorgeous.
sucks.
Oh, it
So
sucks.
the Bruins, I would say Montreal probably, Rangers,
Mhm.
Edmonton, Detroit, and then Edmonton. That's what I would say if I had a top 5.
So we differ on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. He talks about the Whalers. Okay, one of the best hockey games I've ever seen live was when I went down to Hartford. I went down and watched the Bruins game at Hartford. This is when, this was.
Yeah.
It feels like another.
During the Reagan administration, right?
Yeah.
Right. That's good, Joe.
Yeah.
So that was one of the best games I've ever seen. I mean, there had to be about 16 fights in that game. It was fantastic.
Well, in those days, that's all they did was fight, right?
It was fantastic. Hey, listen, the Bruins today are like that. Fredericks and company, they really gave it to Wilson this past
Yeah.
weekend, and
Yeah,
they
they
should.
did.
But that Carlo hit was dirty and nasty. All right, listen, we got to go to break. You tell me, everybody out there, you want us to keep going with the jerseys, or do you want to get to the Bruins? We'll leave it
Well,
to you.
Chris, the only other thing what we're going to do, we know what the number 1 jersey in baseball is. I mean, we could go top 5, but the number 1 jersey.
Well, yeah, but I think some people would I think some people out there in New England would disagree with you. And
All right.
let's see what
right.
they say. Your
what they
dog's
say.
chiming in. Your dog is chiming in again.
You
Go
don't
straighten
know
that dog out. When we
You
come
don't
back
know
from
what
break,
that dog-
we'll
That's
continue
because
on. We'll start with the MLB. More Corso Catone after this.
Welcome back to the Special Sauce Podcast. I have a very special guest here, Brittany Drodes. Brittany, what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about all things culture, psychology, and business excellence.
My audience is going to love that. So tune in, folks, specialsaucepodcast.com.
Back in, Joe. That's I really like that music.
It's starting to get to you, right?
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
know
getting
it.
to me. Yeah. I love that music when it's like this. Oh, back in with. Oh, okay. No, it's 4 a.m. Sorry. That's how I wait. That's how I sometimes wake up in the morning. Back in more Corso and Catone. That's how crazy that Joe drives me. So let's see. Listen, everybody's chatting. I haven't seen anybody chat in anything other than jerseys, and we're talking about now. We're getting into some baseball. So I think the people have spoken, Joe. Don't you?
People have spoken.
And I think it's Mark. What do you say? I think we should continue
Mark
on with
and I
this
have
segment.
spoken.
Let's continue.
All right. Hey, Mark, listen, you're one half of this. You got to call. You got a big say in what we do here. So let's get to baseball because everybody seems to be focusing on baseball. So let's do that. Okay. All right. Here's what we have. The number one is the San Diego Padres. Horrendous. Oh, they remind me of those Pittsburgh Steelers old crap ass uniforms that we were talking about earlier.
This is your list that you printed. I take it.
Yeah, this is somebody.
All
I
right.
didn't do all this
All right.
work. You think I have time? My server crashed, Mark. Where the hell were you? The server crashed. Jesus, I can't do anything anymore. You think I can
He's texting me last night at 1:30 in the morning. I crashed my server.
Right. Yeah. See, I listen to him. I crashed the server, he says. All right. Here we are. So it's not the San Diego Padres. No. Let's go top 10. Okay. Let's go top 10. I already disagree with the 10th one, but okay. Detroit Tigers is number 10. Okay. Los Angeles Dodgers is number 9. And I think that should be, what do you say? Joe, do you say higher on the list? Lower on the list?
I like the Dodgers higher.
If you want it to be better, you say higher, right? Okay.
Right.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Pay attention. Will you please pay attention? It's not like you're doing anything back there. What the hell are you doing? I mean, just, setting up promos, keeping the sound right. Come on. So then number 8 is the New York Mets, okay, who try to copy with the pinstripes, listen, the New York Mets, I have to digress. I want to tell you a funny story, okay? So when I moved to Arizona, it was like 2000. That was the year. And what was it? 01 when they played? No. When did they play the Mets? Subway Series.
Played the Mets in 2000.
2000. That was that year. Okay. So I had a business associate that worked for a radio station, did some promotions with them and so on. And one day he comes into my office and he says, hey, the World Series, and yeah, we're talking sports a little bit. And he tells me, so who are you rooting for? Says, I said, New York. He said, well, he goes, there's 2 teams playing. I said, listen, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one team from New York. There's only one team from New York, is what I told him. And that's how I feel about the New York Mets jerseys. So let's skip on.
The only other team from New York went to L.A.
Right.
Yes,
the other
and I like the uniforms.
That's true, Joe.
And so they got the Mets. They got the Mets ranked higher over the Dodgers. Brad chats in. Gordie Howe. Brad, please. Red Sox, Braves, St. Louis, Arizona. You know what? You can't pick Arizona. And the reason why you can't pick Arizona is because they've had too many. There's nothing lasting with them. Every 2 minutes, they're changing their jerseys. Before, when they won I don't even want to think about that in 01 or whatever that was, when they beat New York. I was at that. I was at one of those games, the game in Arizona where the Pettit pitched. Anyway, Arizona changed their uniforms constantly. So, they're off the list. They have the Boston Red Sox at 7. 7. That's Joe, again, low. That's too low on the list.
It's low.
That is low.
The thing is, their uniform sucks, but it's been a staple.
Did you forget the real deal New England feel? We're not going to let you talk anymore, Joe. These people are going to come after you over here.
But it's iconic though because it's still been the same throughout history. And
that's true, Joe, and that's why you got to put them up there.
Yeah, you got to put that up.
So now you have the Chicago Cubs. So no, you say Boston's at 7, and you start to hear some of these other teams, and maybe you understand. Chicago Cubs, great uniform. Yeah. Chicago White Sox at 5, which I would put the Cubs over them. Toronto Blue Jays, I don't know who was making this list. St. Louis Cardinals, that's on Brad's list. And New York, they have the New York Yankees at 2.
What?
What?
Who's won? Oh, the
Oakland
Padres.
A's.
Oakland A's.
Padres look like I can't say what the Padres look like.
I thought you said
It
the
looks like
Padres.
somebody
That's-
just
no,
came
no,
out of
no.
the outhouse.
No, I understand that, but I thought you said the Padres originally to stop
No.
the thing.
No, I said the Padres are last. That's no. I said the Padres to be funny.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
Because that's my
Well,
my
Chris,
poor attempt at
Chris,
humor.
Chris, so they actually have the A's.
The Oakland A's.
Nah, I don't see it.
Imagine. That's horrendous.
That
That's
is-
really
The
bad.
Listen, the Yankees.
Home,
are,
away, terrible.
listen, the Yankees are the
What?
number
Because of
one
that
jersey.
elephant? What is that logo anyway?
I don't know what that was. The Yankees are the number one jersey in baseball.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
agree.
question in my mind.
I don't think anybody's gonna. I don't think anybody can really, bother you
how
about
do you
that.
how do you disagree with that?
But who's two? Who's two, Mark? Is there anybody else that I didn't list here? You got Rockies, Tampa Bay Rays, Texas Rangers, not a bad jersey. Minnesota. I don't like anybody who tries to steal the pinstripes.
No.
Miami Marlins, horrendous. Brewers, awful. Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Indians are that's a good uniform because it always gets a nice giggle. It always gets a giggle because of the movie. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, Joe, when you think of Cleveland Indians, what do you think? What's the first thing that comes out of your
Bob
mind
Uecker.
other than mediocrity forever?
Bob Uecker.
Right. It is. It's the movie. It's absolutely the movie.
sure.
Hayward's a convicted felon. I don't think that's true. Well, he ought to be. Anyway, okay, so now we've gone off the rails here. We're quoting movies now. Houston
love it.
Astros. Now listen, the Houston Astros, they're old. Remember their old jerseys? They were awful.
Those. I thought they were sharp.
Yeah, they were sharp. They that team. I don't know. I wouldn't choose them. So I mean, Colorado Rockies. We already said that. Seattle Mariners, Atlanta Braves, traditional. Phillies have not a bad uniform. I like the mascot better.
You know what uniform wasn't bad, Chris? Believe it or not, you're gonna think I'm crazy. The old black pants and black jersey with the gold hat, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
The Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right?
Yeah, I mean,
when they had Dave Parker and Willie Stargell.
Hey, listen, Pittsburgh's 13 on this list. They got the Washington Nationals 14, but that's because of a patriotic thing.
Yeah.
But again, so for okay, Mark, what do you got? Top 5.
Obviously, we're going to say Yankees, right? That's a given. They're number one, right?
Yeah.
My number two jersey, believe it or not, Chris, I really like the Cubs.
Yeah.
I'd say the Cubs too.
Yeah, I struggled with that.
Right. I'd say the Cubs too. I would probably say the Dodgers 3.
Yeah.
I like the Dodgers. I probably 4. I'm going to say the Red Sox just because
you don't want to
they've had the same uniforms.
You don't want to get stoned.
No, but just because Chris, like
by
Joe
stoned,
said,
I mean
no,
rocks
but like
thrown at you.
yeah, but like Joe said, it's just they've had the jerseys for 100 years. When you think of Major League Baseball, you think of the Yankees, you think of Red Sox. The traditional. I don't know. And believe it or not, Chris, you know what uniform I like, and I'm going to say, but you might think I'm crazy. I'm going to say they're 5th. I like the look of the Detroit Tigers.
Detroit was where were they on this list? They were 10th. They were number 10. So,
I like that look.
You're not far off. That's not far off. Hey, Brad, you're on a roll tonight, Brad. Roberto Clemente, 1960. Listen to this right now. Mark, what do you have to say to Brad right now?
There he is, Brad. I love it, Brad. Roberto Clemente. Well, listen, I'm not that old. I said
He
Willie
wore that
Stargell.
uniform.
I said
He wore
Willie,
that.
He did. I said Willie Stargell and Dave Parker.
Yeah. So, you're right there with him, Mark. Come on. Who are you kidding?
Omar Moreno in center, Phil Garner.
All right.
Second.
Let me give my 5 so we can move on to the NBA because I want to then real quickly go into the best all around. Okay, best all around. We already know who Olivia chose. So, okay. To me, yeah, obviously number 1's number 1. Okay, Yankees. I put the Red Sox too. I really do. I
can see that, Chris.
It's a basic,
Yeah,
not a flashy uniform.
It's a classic uniform.
It is. I mean, I like it. I like the red. I like the sock. I like all of it. So that's the Red Sox's too. For me, I would say the Cubs are 3. Okay. I would say the Dodgers are 4. Okay. And definitely not the Toronto Blue Jays. Oof. You know, I'd say it's either between the Cardinals and Detroit.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
really
thought-
like the
I almost
Detroit
said
Tigers.
I almost said the Cardinals too, but I like Detroit 5, Chris.
Yeah, I like it. I like I like Detroit.
The
You know,
the home uniform.
it reminds me of Magnum PI when he wears the Detroit Tiger hat.
Yes. Oh, Jesus, are you kidding? Oh, Magnum PI.
So Joe, this is going way off the rails, man.
Way off the rails.
All right, that's okay. We can do that from time to time. I mean, this is the
Hey,
time
we
of
can
year.
do whatever we want.
This is the
Corso
time.
Catone.
This is the time to do it because we are the real deal, New England feel. You know, we could do that whenever we want. And the next week we're going to talk about the free agency stuff. So let's talk about this. Knock the NBA now. Okay. Let's try to go through this as quick as we can. Now, on the bottom of the list, they got like Cleveland, Atlanta, Dallas,
Yeah, forget
the
those
Kings,
teams. Yeah,
Detroit,
forget
Phoenix.
those teams. Forget them.
Okay. Brooklyn Nets. Okay. So let's move up to 10. Okay. So at 10, they got the Knicks. All right. Yeah, the Knicks. At 9, they have the Boston Celtics, which I can't imagine how they can be that low. I don't even understand. And these are the teams they're going to have over them. Memphis Grizzlies. Okay. I don't know. Talk about getting stoned. I don't know who the hell made this list and when, but Joe, can I say that? Yeah, I can.
Well, Joe, but Chris, we're going to be traditionalists though in this. Half of the teams we used to watch these teams didn't even exist when we were watching the NBA. Like
Yeah,
really,
but
like
Mark,
when we were kids, like Memphis and those teams didn't even exist.
yeah, but Mark, they're not propping you up like Weekend at Bernie's. You're still watching the games, aren't you? I mean, you could still figure out who the hell's who and looking at the damn uniforms, right? You got to formulate an opinion today in 2021, right? So Memphis Grizzlies, Toronto Raptors, Portland Trail Blazers 6, Chicago Bulls is 5, Golden State Warriors is 4, Philadelphia 76ers, good traditionally. That's a good uniform.
That's a good uniform.
Miami Heat and the Lakers number 1. You're going to find the Lakers 1 in every.
Well, when I say Lakers 1, I mean I like the Magic Johnson when they had the yellow jerseys, the traditional yellow jerseys.
Well, but they still break those out.
They do. But
what they don't wear a lot and what was cool are the purple ones.
The purple ones, they don't wear those much anymore. Those were cool too.
Those were cool. I like those. You know, I really do like those. Miami Heat.
Cool.
Mark, can we agree to throw that off?
Throw them out.
I don't know. I'm throwing them off. I'm throwing the Trailblazers off. I can't imagine why Trailblazers. I'm throwing the Raptors off and I'm throwing the Grizzlies off. Okay. So, I mean, San Antonio Spurs is not, they're in the top 15, but they're not top 10. I like their uniforms.
I like their uniforms. Always like their uniforms, the Spurs.
You know,
and they had the Iceman, George Gervin.
What do you think of the Pacers uniform?
I'm not a fan.
Pistons?
Yeah, they're not bad.
Do you notice how nobody like Cleveland's not even any? They can't even produce a good uniform. The baseball ones are good, but otherwise they can't produce a good uniform.
Basketball, Chris. I do like that yellow Golden State uniform. I would definitely put that in the top 5.
All right, give me your top 5 then.
My top 5 uniforms are the Lakers, and you're right, Chris. People forget about the purple. It may be the purple over the yellow, right?
Yeah, it's shop.
That's a shop uniform, right? I would say the Lakers is 1. I would say Golden State 2. I would say the Celtics 3. I would say the San Antonio Spurs 4. And I would say
it's lost all sense of reality.
I have lost all sense of reality, but you know what I'm going to say, Chris? And you're going to think I'm a little crazy.
I already do, and they already do.
All right. The white New York Knicks uniforms.
Not bad.
With Willis Reed.
They're in my top 5.
Yep.
They're in my top 5. They are. No, yeah. You see, the reality hasn't, that stuff hasn't completely set in yet. All right. For me, okay, it's Lakers number one,
Yep.
Celtics number two. Because when I
Okay.
look at the Celtics, I take the Celtics uniform, and maybe you could do this with the Yankees too. But since they changed the stadium, well, they did in Boston, but it's in the same exact spot. But when I look at the Celtics, I take the Celtics with the place as a whole.
Yeah.
Like with the parquet floor. You know what I mean? Although I'll say I like the white jerseys better than
I
better than the
definitely, when
green.
I say the Celtics, you're right, Chris. I mean white, the white ones.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, we didn't really specify home away, but I like the white ones, like the Bruins. I like the white. The Bruins white that's the best uniform, like in sports, other than Yankees. Okay. So Lakers, Celtics, I would say 76ers next.
Yeah.
I like their uniforms. I like the see, this is where I had trouble with either the Knicks or Golden State. So I'll put Golden State there. How many is that? 3? Mark?
Four. Four.
How many? What did I say?
That's four,
Lakers,
I think, Chris.
Celtics.
You said Lakers, Celtics. You
Sixers,
said Sixers.
Warriors. Right.
Warriors,
So I
that's
only got
4.
one more, right?
And then 5.
Yeah. 5, 6. Chicago Knicks.
All right.
Chicago Knicks. Did I say 5, 6? So
All
what
right.
say you out there? I see Brad. Is Brad? Hey, Brad, are you? Anyone else? We had like 50,000 people chatting in before. I want to hear from you guys. I know what Brad thinks. But yeah, and that's what I would say for NBA. And we are getting close to the end. But Mark,
Yeah.
all around, quickly. Okay. I just want to just give you this quick list. Okay. I'm going to just rattle them off. And this was a list that was put together USA Today. Okay. USA Today put this together, top 25. And I'm just going to rattle them off because some of these we had in the top of their class. New York Rangers, 25, Minnesota Timberwolves, 24. How they even got on the list, I don't understand. Baltimore Orioles, 23. And take note of the different sports, how many in each, roughly. New Jersey Devils, 22, which I think is a good-looking uniform, too. Kansas City Chiefs, 21. I just don't understand that. San Francisco 49ers, Joe, number 20. Oakland
Fair enough.
Athletics, 19. So we're staying in the Bay Area. Detroit Red Wings, 18. I think it's too low. Golden State Warriors, 17. I think it's too low. 16, Philadelphia 76ers. 15, Los Angeles Dodgers, too low. 14, they're going to have a lot of football at the top, I'll bet. 14 is the Las Vegas Raiders, which will always be Oakland to me. 13 is Dallas Stars. I don't know how that got on the list. 12 is Toronto. That got on the list over
Chris, the Dallas Stars, you know what I think it is? Remember the old Minnesota
that
North Stars?
putrid green
remember
color?
remember the old Minnesota North Star jerseys, the home whites?
yeah.
When we were kids, people used to love those Minnesota North Star jerseys. I didn't personally, but I know that those were a popular jersey.
Yeah. Just keep dreaming and reminiscing for 1 second in your head.
I'm just
Hold on.
telling you.
Hold on. So Toronto Blue Jays 12, Yankees 11.
What?
Yankees 11.
What is this? USA Today?
USA Today.
Oh, you got to watch
USA
Bleacher
Today. What's that?
Report. They got it down.
Chicago Bears 10. This is who's over the Yankees now. Chicago Bears, Florida Panthers are 9. Florida Panthers are over the Yankees. Toronto Maple Leafs 8. Green Bay Packers 7. I mean, I could see how some people would do that. Pittsburgh Steelers, was that 6? Okay. Chicago Blackhawks, again, Mark, I don't even know how they're making the list, is 5. Boston Celtics 4. It's going to be the Lakers again. Watch. St. Louis Cardinals 3. Mark, you're never ever going to believe who number 2 is. I could tell you, but you're not going to believe it. Buffalo Bills
What?
is number 2.
You're
Is
kidding.
number 2.
Who's number 1?
Number 1 is Montreal Canadiens. So wait a
Chris,
minute.
the Bruins didn't even hit
The
the top
Bruins
25?
didn't scratch it, and neither did the Lakers.
Yeah, that's
Did I miss something here?
No, that's
No,
crazy.
I didn't miss anything.
How could the
Wow,
Bruins
that's
not
crap.
be in the top 25?
All right, this is a garbage list. We can't. we
throw
can't-
that out. Put that in the
It's
fireplace.
Under the metric system, it's got to be Canadian.
Chris,
Right,
put that in the
right.
fireplace.
Yeah.
Burn
So
that thing.
okay. So to me, okay. Best unit, Joe. Give me your top unit. Okay, you already gave the top uniform. Joe, you give us your top next 4 quickly.
Next,
You've had enough time to
quickly.
think about this.
Yes, seriously. Well, I was just reading off like the Bleacher Reports, and they had a pretty good.
No, I don't
list.
want the Bleacher Reports,
No,
Joe. I
but
want
this is
you.
part of
I want
mine.
you.
Part of mine, which is,
I want
they have them here. Celtics are at number 3. The Raiders are at number 2. Yankees number 1 is, of course. And then Steelers at 4. And I always liked the Steelers black and gold, so I'm going to stick with those.
I have a whole family of deer walking through my backyard right now. I just thought you would all.
What
like
is
to know
wrong
that.
with you?
Right?
I'm looking out the window and all I could see is a family of deer walking through the backyard. What? That's noteworthy. Okay, Mark, who are your top 5? You people need to understand. If we go past an hour and a half, Mark will just fall asleep.
So listen, you know my top 5, right? Yankees, obviously.
Then give me your
Bruins?
top 10 then. See if you
No,
can
I'll
stretch
give
it.
you. I'll give you 5. Yankees.
Yeah.
Bruins.
Hmm.
Uh,
Tough, huh?
Well, yeah, because now you get into these different sports. I'd say Yankees, Bruins. I'll still say, Chris, the purple Laker uniforms. I'll say
He's giving this a lot of thought.
I am, Chris, because it's tough.
It is
It's
hard.
tough.
I
I'm
gotta
gonna
pick-
say.
I gotta
I'm
pick up
gonna
my
say.
NFL list.
I'm gonna say the Los Angeles Rams. And 5.
Los Angeles Rams. Huh? Good.
Yeah, I'm going to put them in the top 5. And then 5, I will say, I'm going to stick with football because it's free agency time. I'm going to say the San Diego Chargers. Well,
Okay.
LA Chargers, whatever they are.
Okay. So let me
Because
give.
it's football season.
And the
I mean-
bell is dinging. It's tolling for us.
Go ahead.
To me, it would be the New York Yankees are 1. I think we all agree on that. I'm going to say. This is hard, This is difficult. Boston Bruins are 2.
Yeah.
Boston Bruins are 2. I've been saying that the whole show. What the hell am I talking about? the Boston Bruins are 2. 3, I would say. I like the Celtics. I like the
Okay.
Celtics jersey.
Yep.
I just do. I'm not being a homer. I mean it. I really do
Yep.
mean it. I think Montreal is probably 4. And the hell with Dallas. I'm going to go Chargers 5.
Yeah.
But then I would put Dallas in there, and then I would put, I would put Steelers. I'm heavy on NFL. So, that's me. But yeah, those are my top 5. And so yeah, that completes it. All the jerseys, everybody understands it. I hope you were all taking notes so that
I will find my son's Blackhawk jersey next week. I'll have it on.
horrendous.
It won't fit me, but I'll pull it out.
Like that jerk that keeps wearing that Tampa, that horrendous, awful.
He's a jerk.
That guy that keeps wearing the number 12 laughing
He's a jerk.
about
a
the
jerk.
Patriots. Go work in Tampa.
He's a
Joe,
jerk.
we can go to one last break and then we'll give our final thoughts on the other side. Can we do that, Joe? Are you prepared for that, Joe? Or are
I'm
you
not
still
prepared,
thinking about
but we could do that for
Are
sure.
you still thinking about your top 5 right now that you took
I actually was.
that you plagiarized and took from somebody else? So
I am.
when we come back, maybe Joe will steal some other information from some other publications on the other side. More Corso and Catone after this.
It's that time again for a timeout for a message from one of our sponsors. No one ever thinks they will be in the need of a criminal or traffic lawyer, but things happen. Corso Law Group is Arizona's leading criminal and traffic law firm. Their 20-plus years experience and attention to detail has helped thousands of people all across this great country who found themselves in a situation in Arizona. So whether it's a traffic ticket or if you need reduced DUI or more serious issues, call or go online to CorsoLawGroup.com and talk with these expert attorneys who I know will help you. Corso Law Group.
Back in with Corso and Catone, and you know what? I came in a little late here because it looks like we have Joe. We missed somebody calling in tonight. Looks like we had somebody that called in and actually left a message on that hotline. Let's see if we can hear it.
Guys, I'm wondering who is your pick for the Final Four for March Madness?
Okay.
I'm glad you
Do we
brought
have a
that
name
up,
on that?
Chris.
You know,
We're
we
gonna-
don't. I don't have a
Chris-
name on that. Of
Chris,
course,
that's
you know.
Chris, that's something for next week because
That is a next week
they'll
show.
be picking
It is a
teams
next
on
week
Sunday.
show.
They'll be picking teams on Sunday.
I'm so happy. I wish you put your name in, but caller, I apologize. We didn't get to the call. We ran out of show. We were having too much fun talking about jerseys. But yes, that is something we're going to talk about on the next show. And that's a Mark. I don't think we have time for final thoughts tonight.
No, but you know, Chris, actually that was going to be. It's ironic that you brought that up because that was going to be my final thought because you know I love March Madness.
Yep.
Right.
No,
So-
I know you do. I know you do. It's one
So
of Mark's
I'm
favorite
actually watching.
things.
I'm actually watching on the screen to the left of me. Bryant, the local team, is playing to try to get into the NCAAs, but they're getting beat by 8 right now
You have so
with
many
like
issues.
9 minutes to go. Yep.
So many.
Yeah, I got. You don't know how many
Watching
issues
Bryant
I have.
College right
I'm
now.
what if they win? They first time in history.
Not
They'll go to
watching
the tournament.
Kansas. He's not
They'll
watching
go to
North
the tournament.
Carolina.
Listen, I get down and dirty.
He's watching Bryant College right now.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I'm sorry, Bryant University. You're showing your age.
well, wasn't it Bryant? The Patriots practiced there,
Yeah,
don't they?
Bryant, when it was Bryant
in
College,
like
now it's Bryant
1984.
Yeah.
And because Mark had that final thought, I therefore will not have one because I'm speechless after Bryant College right now, which I will always,
University.
well, which is what I'm always going to call it. Listen, some people to thank tonight as we've gone way over. Want to thank the good people over at Special Sauce Podcast. Tune in. You saw the promo. Joe, is the name Brittany? Is it Brittany? I think
Brittany
it's coming on.
Drozd. Yep, Brittany
Yeah.
Drozd is one of the guests.
Brittany Drozd is coming on that show, so pay attention. They now have the Patriots helmet in the background. Next thing we need to get them is a Corso Catone, water bottle or something. Jag Media Productions, we want to give them thanks. They produce this show and do a fantastic job dealing with Mark and I's stupidity. Corso Law Group, Arizona's leading criminal law firm, allow us to be your voice. And I'll tell you what, the people over at Corso Law Group are not too pleased with me right now in our server because it completely crashed, as all you know. So the people at Corso Law Group are really, really, they're stepping it up right now, old school style. Studio 42 Designs in North Providence, Rhode Island, and Mountain View Home Watch and Security, Scottsdale's leading private home and security firm. Longtime producer. Joe's come right out of his shell tonight, so you all can hear him, and now you all know what teams he roots for. And so we're looking forward to hear more from Joe Guarneri, our longtime producer and director, next week, which I want you to join us next week at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, as always. And like the caller said, March Madness is on the table. We will be discussing that as well as free agency. It's going to
We
be
might be discussing free agency.
It's going to be a lot of talk. Mark woke up for a second. You awake, Mark? Come on,
I'm
come
awake.
on.
It's early tonight. I'm awake.
So-
It's early.
Yeah, not that those Patriot games on Pat's Nation. Oh, those late games. Mark's
not
falling
out.
asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that next week. We didn't get to the Bruins, but we want to talk about them and shuffling of their lines. All that and anything you want to chat in about next week, tune in during this week. Joe will have us up on YouTube. You can watch the show again. Tune in. We are the real deal New England feel. So for Joe Guarneri, Mark Catone, I'm Chris Corso. So long, everyone.